Well, he wasn't seminary trained like Pastor Davis and Pastor Green here, but he will, time you come to the church, he will start his sermon, and he didn't till he finished. He will take all that time because he wasn't seminary trained. He didn't know much about homiletics and hermeneutics, but now, Brother Adams, you best explained it. The hermeneutics is 5 minutes to do your introduction. I want you to get this. Well, if you don't get this, you might miss the sermon. And 20 minutes for the body. And 5 minutes for conclusion. Well, he didn't know anything about that. He just preached until he finished. Now, if I do that today, you will walk out and leave me here. Well, it's a whole lot that go on that we miss. Folks looking around and talking about a house. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a home. But I got news for you. You can't buy a home. You can buy a house, but not a home. A home is a place of tranquility. Home is a place of peace. Yes. Home is a place of love and understanding. But you can get a house with nothing in it. But if you got love in your home, it makes a difference. Well, I got news for you. A family is the first government in this world. You hear what I said? Yes. God made Adam. Then he decided to make him a helpmeet. Somebody to help him out. You need that in a family. And all of us is in a family. In God's family, it's peace, joy, and happiness. In the Lord's family, when trouble arises in the family, God promised to be there. And I won't ask you to hold your hand, because every one of us in here had some trouble in our family. You don't have me. If it's not the police is coming, we got moral troubles in our family. You find the young boys love every girl they see. It's trouble in the family. Well, you don't suppose to bother anybody until you get married. But if I would say this afternoon that every family here had some moral problems in the family. What you need, Brother Adams, you need God. You don't hear me? I know you're sitting there act like you're so holy that you don't know what I'm talking about. But let me tell you, in God's family, it's a lot of members. In the Lord's family, there Abraham was in God's family. Yes. Enoch was in God's family. Jacob was in God's family. Jeremiah was in God's family. David was in God's family. And there were Mary Magdalene was in God's family. And there were Sarah in God's family. And there were Silas in God's family. There were Paul in God's family. And there were John, or whoever wrote the Revelation, was in God's family. And let me tell you, my brothers and my sisters, because you are in the the Lord's family, it don't make you perfect. It don't make you perfect. See, a whole lot of us believe after we born again, we are perfect. But I come to tell you, you're not perfect. You may do your little sin and try to hide it, but God got the eye on you. He's watching you all day and all night. The Lord has his eyes on every one of us. But let me tell you this, and I'll hurry on to my close. Look at Abraham. Look at him. Told a lie that Sarah was not his wife, and he was in God's family. I know you in the family, and you say you never told a lie. But wait a minute, I saw Enoch walking and talking with God. Enoch was living close to God, and he was in God's family. Now wait a minute, Brother Adams, I heard you say Jacob was in God's family. Jacob and his own mama got together and stole his brother's birthright. It was in God's family. Now you want to be so holy, you never did anything wrong. But I got news for you. When a brother or sister do something wrong, forgive them and bring them on back in the family. And I can hear Paul saying to the Galatians right now, we got to forgive one another. Now this is an anniversary, a time to shout, a time to thank God what he has done for us. But we got to have love in the family. We got to love one another. You don't hear me. I look and then I saw not only that David, he had a problem. Now you know David was a man after God's own heart. But you know what he did? He killed a man just to steal his wife. Oh, what a shame. We got it today. Folks still try to steal somebody else's wife. It got him in trouble. But I tell you, we are not perfect. If anybody in here this afternoon are going through a problem, I want to tell you, you're not perfect. You have sin, but God forgives sin. If God would forgive sin, we wouldn't be here this afternoon. God, forgive me for my sins. I have some attitudes and I can't stand my own self, but God's still working on me. He's still holding me in the family. He didn't put me out. I know the Lord, he still loves me. Oh yes, he did. Now wait a minute. I heard about the man called Jesus. You don't hear me. Jesus, he is everything in the world to me. Good God Almighty. Now look at Jesus, and I heard they took Jesus and carried him to Calvary, and they tell me he died on Calvary. And I heard the preacher say that there was a conversation between the devil